Today is going to be all about tapping into what do you want for the new year and your masculine energy and container that gets to hold your feminine flow throughout the year. So that's a lot of what we're going to be discussing. We are full steam ahead. Woo! All right. So I'd love to hear from each of you after maybe a little bit more reflection on the Queen Values exercise, just what your Queen Values are and why those values matter most to you.
So one of them that I just kind of thought of even this morning, and to preface this for context, I'm rethinking my offers and everything. So I'm rethinking some of the values that I had, trying to figure out what I want, trying to figure out, okay, so then what the content looks like. So my values are more of overall themes right now. They may potentially change as I continue to think more and more about what I want to do to make sure everything's aligned. But the one that really popped into my head early this morning was connection. And that's such an important value for me because of all of no matter what I end up doing, I want people to feel connected and that they're not alone in if they choose to do, leadership in their lives. Because you can be a leader in your personal life and you can have that leadership and emotional intelligence in your professional life. But there's nothing worse than when you're working at a place and you feel really alone and you feel like it's really tough and there's nobody being honest and transparent that they're kind of going through the same shit as well. So that kind of goes back to integrity is always one of my, is just a very, I think I really like to be fully honest and transparent with people. And I would like that in return. So that's kind of how connection is going to tie in. So I don't know if that's the main value theme we would want to call it, but
Beautiful.
It's
perfect.
Definitely connection, authenticity, integrity, and I would even say just empowerment. I don't know if empowerment would go with connection or not, but the idea of being behind, it does not matter what you do. It just matters how you do it and how you show up and do your best. And so that's kind of where I'm at with my values.
I love it. And also related back to you. So how does connection, integrity, honesty, and empowerment and doing your best relate back to you in your life?
Well, connection's a new one because I feel choking now. I feel I've always wanted deep and close connection with people, but even looking back and doing some of the inner work, I always felt in school, especially when I was younger, I was the loud kid. And so all that pressure put on me to not want to be that way, to not stand out because people get annoyed by that in the sense, really kind of dimmed myself down. And I think took away from me having great connections with people because I was kind of afraid to show my whole self in a sense because of getting judged, which is still a fear I have. But then in smaller settings, I feel I really can be myself, especially with you ladies, and you've seen who I am and, I don't feel any judgment from you. So that's a new value for me that I'm looking at because the power of connection and relationships have truly transformed my life. And I feel had I focused more on that and not worrying about what people may or may not think of me, I could be in a different place, but again, you wouldn't have those learning insights that you have now. So that's why it's a really important value for me because I want people to feel that sense of connection and community. Honesty and integrity just kind of go hand in hand because we're not doing anybody favors when we're lying to them or not being honest about ourselves and how we're feeling for things. I always think of it that way. If somebody really doesn't want to do something, I respect them so much more if they just say they don't want to do it versus just doing me a lip service type thing. And I don't want to do a lip service to other people. Maybe you have to adjust and not make my approach so harsh to some people, but that's kind of where that comes down to. And you know, I always think of integrity as like you're doing the right thing, even when no one's looking. And that's a really, really hard thing to do sometimes, especially in the corporate world. So that's just always it's just been a steadfast value my entire life. And I think it just comes from my upbringing as well. Like we do what we say we're going to do, we execute and follow through on it. We're honest with people, and we're not going to try and like pull the wool over their eyes. I don't know if I answered all of them.
You did great. So what I heard you say was for your values, which are things that you even want to embody in your own life: connection, integrity, respect, specifically for yourself first, and then that transcends to others, and empowerment. And it sounds like there might be some more thoughts around empowerment that might serve you. That is what you get to thread throughout your business. So if you come every single day to, those are your value system, and every decision that you make in business relates back to, you know, is this creating connection for my community? Is this message in integrity with my value system and what I feel is important to respect myself, to not dim my light, and to empower others to also respect themselves? That message threaded in whatever way, shape, or form, and whatever topic, is your value system for within yourself first, and then it obviously translates into your business. Does that feel good?
Yeah, it does.
Beautiful. Okay, awesome. Anything else you want to share?
I think empowerment was definitely not a value I had before, but just looking and seeing, like, I've noticed like I empower so many other people unintentionally. But again, I need to put that empowerment in myself, which is why it needs to be a value, because if I can show up for myself and show up as being empowered, I'm leading by example in that sense, which then ties into integrity, because any content that I really make or my offerings, like I want it to be in line with my values and done with integrity, because I want to be the lead by example that I never had from other people who did all, like, said the right things but did all the wrong things and kept saying it. That drives me bonkers. And so like that's really important for those things.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And it's so often interesting when we create a value system, it's usually the last one or second to last one, which is kind of an afterthought. Like empowerment was an afterthought, but it slid in there because it's like, okay, there's something there that you get to step into. Like that's usually the one you get to step into. So it's so perfect that that's how you even acknowledge it. Like, this is what I want, even though I feel like it's something I get to become and step into. So that's amazing. I love it. Awesome. All right, Masuma, what you got?
Good morning, ladies. I was looking forward to this. So I love how you nailed it with the empowerment, but I will get to that. That's one of mine too. The first thing that's important to me now more than ever is to be playful, because I feel like when you're playful and you're joyous and you're just like happy and bubbly, like it breaks up that ugly energy of like the seriousness. And I don't know, like I feel like we're all like actors in this world, like acting a certain role, and like it doesn't have to be so dense all the time, you know. This is advice for myself because it takes life too serious. But then the people who really know me, they see the dorky side of me, and other people like, you know, obviously like I don't expose that part of me to the world. And I feel like maybe I should, because it's part of me. Like, why not, you know? And I think it'll make me more personable as a result. And so that it creates that connection, that rapport. Because I'm super sarcastic, because if I want to make a point and it's like so drastically different from the other person that I'm communicating with, I'm like, okay, what if I make this funny so that it doesn't seem so serious, but also get the point across? And I found that to be effective. So that's number one, vulnerability. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Christy Marie Sheldon or her work. None of it. Okay, she's like happy and giggly, and I'm like, is it even possible for someone, a leader like that, to just be happy and giggly like this all the time? And I love her. I'm so attracted to her style, and I'm like, wait a minute, what if I embrace that little part of me and I project that? I think it'll be fun. That was number one. Number two, being vulnerable. I'll give you guys an example. I was looking at a property last week because I'm looking to buy a home. And my agent, like I was looking, I asked him for like the directions of the home because I was consulting with a feng shui master. And he's like, make sure that like, like the kitchen is not in the north, and there's no stove in the north because like the elements of blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he taught me this stuff. So I'm looking at this property that that's going to be built from scratch. And it happens that plot, that home, what is it called, floor plan, has the things that I shouldn't, because it's not good for the feng shui of my home and associated with, like whatever. Anyway, the reason why I brought this up is my agent laughed at me. He's like, you really believe in this stuff? And I was like, what we believe will be true for us. And there are certain things that I do believe that have become true for me. I have detached from certain beliefs that were my parents' superstitious stuff. But there are certain things that I have shifted in my life that I found that to be true. So yes, I keep certain values. Even though I was embarrassed to even admit it, I was like, you know what? Yeah, this is me. Like, I look at stuff like this. It's important. Like, I look at the numbers of the house, like I'm into numerology. So what? Like, this is me. I'm just going to be me, and it's okay, Okay, so that was number two. So vulnerability. And then number three is definite empowerment. I'm always empowering others, but I'm so hard on myself, and I need to shift that, because what I'm projecting to the world, I feel like is not is not congruent with what I believe, And so those are the three major things for me: being playful, vulnerable, and empowering myself. So there.
I love it. Thank you for sharing. And the stories are really helpful to gain context.
Mhm.
How do these value systems apply to building a business?
Being personable, being able to connect to someone if someone else is into the things that I am, or they have their own little quirks. They'll feel comfortable sharing with me, okay, so this is what's important to me and this is why, like we pick up on stuff throughout our lives that sometimes we're not even conscious of. And I want my clients to be comfortable to share those with me, and I'll honor their beliefs, So I think for the connection, it does help with the business part of it.
Yeah, what stood out to me most is the embracing all of me was kind of the sentence that I thought of. Is embracing all of you equals the bridge to spirituality that people desire and want to see from a spiritual coach.
Mm-hmm.
In my experience, a lot of spiritual coaches are so far off, in my opinion, la la land, that I can't connect to
Mm-hmm.
how they got there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in the beginning of the journey, that's where the bridge is. It's like, okay, how do we bridge the gap in that? So anytime you can build a business around bridging that gap for someone, embracing all of themselves, really embodying all of the vulnerable pieces that are congruent within them, but they aren't able or think they're able to share. And that's what creates the thread of the value system. So I love it. All of those seem really in line with where you get to go. And it sounds like for you, the playful one was maybe the most challenging or difficult. How did this last week go of saying no?
Oh, the first day I failed badly. And then at nighttime I was about to sleep, and I was like, wait a minute. I said yes to so many things today. And I was like, nope, I gotta be better tomorrow. So throughout the week, every time I find myself saying yes, I wouldn't retrieve it because I had already said yes. I wanted to honor the promise. But I became conscious of how many times I say yes to others. And so I started to learn how to say no towards the end of the week. But then I also had a birthday this week, and then everyone wanted to celebrate, and I felt like they were trying to do something nice for me, and I didn't want to not accept, you know? So I didn't say no, but it was fun. So I'm getting much better at it. I'm conscious of it.
Beautiful. It was your birthday?
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now you're aware of it. So now it's just a muscle that you're building. So
Yep.
I wouldn't expect it to be like overnight magically like saying yes and no to all the right things. It's like, okay, cool. Now you're aware of it. Practice. This next exercise is really about you digging deep and integrating within every cell of your body what it is that you want and desire, and building this truth within your body. So not just saying it, not thinking about it, saying it and like that makes sense, or I'm supposed to say this. It's like, no, like yelling it, screaming it, like embodying what it is that you want. And when we come at it from this place of like, who do I get to be to have that? What do I want? Who do I get to be to have that? We'll walk through this exercise and come out with basically 4 words that are what you get to go back to anchor into so that you can make it through this year. Because there's going to be moments where you don't want to fucking do the work, right? There's going to be moments where you're in breakdown. There's going to be moments where you don't know how it's going to get done. It's just going to get done somehow. And so this is your covenant with yourself. This is your contract with yourself and your agreement that these 4 words are what you get to tap into, your emotional state you get to be in order to do the work. So this is ways of being. How this exercise will go, and I'm going to kind of role play it with you guys first so you understand it. We're all actually going to stand just to feel it in our body, to really tap in. And let's see, Sam, if you could help me for this. You're gonna play me, and we're gonna go through in the chat here. So this is essentially the framework. We're going to cycle through, and Sam, you're just going to yell at me. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? And I'm going to start spouting whatever comes to my mind, right? Whatever comes up. You're going to do this for about 30 seconds. We're each going to do it for a little bit longer, but I want to show you how this looks. After about 30 seconds, Sam, you can change the question to, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? And then after another 30 seconds, you can start asking, like, who do you get to be? Who do you get to be? So what's really fun about this is initially your brain is like, fuck, like thinking like, wobbly all over the place. And then you start to feel it in your body. And it's like, fuck yeah, this is what I am. This is what I want. This is who I am. This is who I get to be, right? And there's a flow and there's a rhythm to it. So we're going to establish your flow, your rhythm, your words of being. And you do not stop until I tell you to stop. Got it? Okay. So we're going to practice. I'm going to be all of you. And this is your role. And when I'm asking the question, like, what do you want? Who are you? Who do you get to be? The rest of everyone who's not in the hot seat can also kind of chant in those questions. So we can all say like, who do you want? Or what do you want? What do you want? And the point is not to actually hear the answer. It's to embody it. Got it? Cool. So, Sam, you want to?
So, can you repeat the questions again? What do you want? Who do you, what was the next one?
Yep. What do you want?
Yeah.
Who are you? And who do you get to be? And I also posted them in the chat. So that's
Okay.
cool.
Okay.
And the end outcome, the end result that we're looking for is 4 words. I also posted this in the chat, but Let me just finish it. The 4 words are, I am a blah, 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 blah queen. So I'm a confident, radiant, wise, thriving queen. Like those are my words of embodiment, right? So I came to this place of process for embodiment. Your words will be different, but like we're going to get there and you're not going to stop until I say like, yep, those are your words. Because I will see it. Like your body will experience it. That's how we'll know like, okay, those are the words. That's what you get to be. Cool.
I'm already crying and vibrating.
Me too. I'm already vibrating like I'm shaking. So excited. All right. So just start yelling at me. What do you want?
Okay. What do you want?
Everyone can do this too.
Okay. What do you want?
What do
$1
you
million.
want?
What do you
What do you
want?
want?
I want love.
What do you want?
I want peace.
What do you want?
I want to change the world.
What do you want?
I want to travel the world. Go
What do
faster.
you want? What do you want?
Keep going.
What do you want?
Just keep saying, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want?
What do you want?
What do
I
you
want to have a family.
What do
I
you
want to
want?
live in Miami. I
What do you
want to be a
do you want?
multimillionaire.
What else?
I
What
want
do you
to
want?
change women's lives.
What do
I
you
want
want?
to make an impact. I want
What do you
other
want?
women to make $1 million.
What do you
I
want?
want to feel great in my body. I
do you
want
want?
to marry the man of my dreams.
What do you
I
want?
want to have 2 kids, twins
Who are you?
specifically.
Who are you?
I am a
Who are you?
genius. I
are you?
am confident.
Who are you?
I
Who are you?
am
you?
loving. I am kind.
Who are you?
I am peaceful.
Who
Who
are
are
you?
you?
I am patient.
Who are you?
I am excited.
Who are
Who
you?
are you?
I am playful.
Who are you?
Faster.
Who are
Who are
you?
you?
Who are you?
I'm loving.
Who are
Who are
you?
you?
I am.
Who
Who
are
are
you?
you?
I'm a leader.
Who are you?
I'm patient.
Who
Who are
are you?
Who do
you?
you get to
I'm
be?
wise.
Who are you?
Ooh,
Who do
I
you
get to be thriving.
Who are you?
Who do you get to be?
I get to be confident.
Who do you
Who
get
do
to
you
be?
Who do you
I get to be a queen.
Who do you get to
Who do you
be?
get to be?
I get to be a multimillionaire.
Who do you
Who
get
do
to
you get to
be?
be?
I get to be a leader.
Who do you get
Who
to
do you get
be?
to be?
I get to be thriving.
Who do you get
Who
to
do you get to
be?
be?
I get to be wise.
Who do you
Who
get
do you
to
get to
be?
be?
I get to be confident.
Who do you
Who do you
get to
get
be?
Be.
I get to be authentic.
Who do you
Who
get
do
to
you get to
be?
be?
I get to be in integrity.
Who do you
Who do
get
you
to
get to be?
I get to be thriving, wise, confident, radiant. I get to be a queen, baby. This is how you shift your emotional state anytime, anywhere. And you don't always, I mean, you could be in public or in a meeting or whatever, you can just tap in, close your eyes, think through these words. I am confident, radiant, wise, thriving. Those are my words. I am confident, radiant, wise, thriving. I say those words before I hop on any phone call, before I have any interaction, that I know I get to be that.